Well, Mr. Igwe Achese joins us now. He's the president of NUPENG. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Well, the first question on the lips of many, especially as regards to some of those kind of reports that we see lately on a regular basis, why is it that fuel, even kerosene, doesn't sell in many parts at that stipulated price?
Chamberlain, that's a good question. It's very unfortunate, like you know very well. Our refineries are still not working. But again, you ask, do we have this product available? The answer is yes. And then when I look sometimes through the media, I see DPR going around filling stations to say they want to shut down stations for price increase or selling above the pump price per se. You'll agree again that marketers don't get a product from only NNPC stations, depots per se. And as such, it's also a difficult one. Now, by virtue of some of the challenges we face in terms of getting this product again to the hinterland, where you see the common woman need kerosene to sell and so on and so forth, it becomes a difficult one for us. But I want to ask so many questions too over these issues. Why, like you already asked also, why are we not getting this product the actual price? A lot of factors are inclusive. One, the product is not there. Two, if NNPC is importing, it's limited. Again, if you're asking private depots owners to also bring in a product, they bring it also at a very high cost also, despite the price fall of the oil and despite whatever taxation government is looking at. But again, you look at the exchange rate of the dollar currently, that is the forex market, to see how you can also put in your business there and your stocks. And that is what is also affecting the system.
But we understand that the variable elements in the sale of these petroleum products across the country is transportation cost. And that's what makes it differ from one point to the other, which is why the Petroleum Equalization Fund exists. Because they fund so many things. They bridge that gap. They even pay. They look at how you maintain your trucks, all kinds of payments about that part. So if PAF is there, should we still be having this situation in our hands?
Chamberlain, if PEF is there, how often do PEF service these marketers? And how quickly do they respond to marketers' expenditures in terms of the refunds?
They say it's regular.
It's not regular. Chamberlain is not regular.
Okay, again, what about when they have? We still never got it at the same price across the country.
You know why you won't get it at the same price too? Because this market has also fueled these trucks. They use diesel, and the cost of diesel is also on the high side. And then the distance you also cover in terms of getting these diesels, they are not also at the same price range.
Are you saying that it is unrealistic for us to expect petrol to be at the same price across the country? Is that what you're saying?
I want to say it's unrealistic for now. I sometimes watch what DPR is doing, going to shut down filling stations. One thing I want to say is this clearly, DPR has all it takes to monitor the petroleum product pricings at the filling stations. But again, DPR must sit down to ask. They have all the mechanism to do that. They have all the mechanism. DPR needs to sit down and look at which product is being gotten from NNPC depots, which product is also being gotten from private depots. And then if NNPC had products in the private depot that they now use today, leaving the NNPC facilities, and then you start monitoring these marketers that lift from where? From the NNPC storage system. Because for sure the prices are different. When you go shutting down filling stations, what about the depot owners? What about the depots where marketers go to leave this product on a higher price?
Which is what we've heard, the distributors say. They say that why should we bear the brunt? Why don't you go and talk to the people who brought in the product and sold it to us at an expensive rate? But it would seem that the NNPC believes that this product should land at a certain cost through which or by which people would have been able to make a reasonable margin of profit. Do you think that they're just been unreasonable?
I have requested on this issue for NNPC to sit down and call a holistic stakeholders meeting. And that will be an open one.
But they've been meeting.
Meeting, doing what? And since they started meeting up to this moment, what have they achieved? And I would say clearly here, even NUPENG, there is also a stakeholder in these whole issues. I've never been invited, Nupengan Pengasan, for any of the stakeholders meeting. But I want to make it this way that, look, if Nigeria wants us to actually move forward, I've said this, call a stakeholders meeting where all medias will be there, representatives of the media institutions, and everybody listening to what is actually the problem and create a way forward.
Let me bring this part. A statement credited to Mrs. Kasali, Washington PEF, says, everybody buys from the depot at the same cost. The profit margin is also the same. It is a transportation that differs, and that is where PEF steps in. We have responsibility of determining how much marketers get based on economic data, that is how much it costs them to maintain the trucks and so on, perhaps factoring in some of those which you spoke about. And they've developed that matrix, she said, to pay the people who are involved in the transportation of those products based on that matrix. And if we're to rely on this, we shouldn't be having this
Chamberlain,
problem.
I know you guys do a lot of investigative reporting journalism, and I believe that your teams are out there. We need to go to each of these depots. We have a lot of depots here in Lagos. We need to go to these depots, look at the cost of, a product that marketers get this product from, at each of these depots. Apart from, I would say today, NNPC use a lot of private depots. And you now see where, if I'm giving you a product on a throughput basis and so on, that is NNPC bearing the cost in terms of whatever handling charges and the rest of them. But I need us to also go to those depots that NNPC is also not using. Who also say, look, my business needs to go on, I need to pay my bills, I need to pay my loans, I need to get my facilities cleared, my business must go on. I need us to go also to these private depots and find out how much are they selling this product.
So now the question will be,
Let
sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Achese, just a moment. I'm just wondering, from your knowledge of the international oil market, do you think that these people are not getting it at the same price the NNPC is getting your product?
Yeah, I think so. But let me say,
you think they're buying it at a costlier amount than what the NNPC is
let me tell you
getting?
this. Let me tell you this. NNPC is government. NNPC is government. I'll tell you one issue. I remember sometimes in the last administration, we had these issues of subsidy scam. And I was talking about NNPC also being involved in these subsidy hold issues about 300 billion. And I said, how do we get NNPC held responsible in bringing back this money? And somebody responded to me from a high-placed government official, said, look, NNPC, don't talk about NNPC. NNPC is government and government is NNPC. They know how to get their money back. Now, for bringing down prices, I've said when you look at the price drop and the rest of them, NNPC or government itself, let me not use the word NNPC because we have PPPRA, which is under the Ministry of Petroleum and then under either the Office of the Presidency. I don't know whether they pulled it off from the Presidency to NNPC to Ministry of Petroleum for now. But PPPRA has a lot of responsibility to create in terms of pricing. And what you do is there are taxations, and in a circumstance where today we depend solely on importation of petroleum products. We're not refining. And that's where the problem is.
Let me come in here.
Yes.
What I don't understand, are we getting something differently here now? Subsidy on petroleum product, we understand, has been removed, right?
I don't want to
On
use
petrol.
the word. I don't want to use the word has been removed, but I think government is trying to see if maybe I want to say the present position as a test case to see if we remove subsidy, is going to work out for us. What is going to be the impact of what's the impact on Nigerians? I think that's what
because
they're
the
doing for
logic
now.
here has
I
to,
don't want to believe that subsidy has been removed. Subsidy is here to be removed.
because they